Red 2 standing by, all 4 lit and in the green. Welcome back to the latest installment of Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. Last time, we got through the semi-pro circuit and I was reduced to a lot of ranting about the frankly horrible Abyss track. But with all that done and out of the way, we have finally earned Bozzy Baranta and we can move on. Where is he? This way. We are continuing with... Oh, that's right. So, absolutely terrible air brake, but the other stats are pretty good overall. We're moving on to the Galactic pod racing circuit. We will have 2 more invitational tracks. We will be able to complete those once we've got everything else done. So we're wrapping up the rest of the tracks today. Toy Dampener is the track favourite on Executioner, and we have a bit more money to grab too. Let's check out some parts. We should have a decent amount of money.
To Watto's shop, huh? Take a look around. I got everything you need, huh?
Alright, well, obviously... Oh yeah, that's right, I spent a lot. So our Mark IV air brake's not doing pretty well. We can get fairly decent brakes, but I think I'd better win some races. Let's get rolling.
You're gonna lose unless you upgrade your pod racer, I think.
Back at the Uvo 4 prison complex for Executioner. Definitely still rusty on this, but we'll see how we go.
Join the pack. Black and white turtle special. Ooh, he looks fast.
At least we actually get a pretty decent racer out of this. Oh boy, this feels quick. Already pretty good right off the bat. And of course, as you'll notice, we wind up going through not very smooth. Alright, so we got people on our tail because I can't drive through narrow gaps very easily. It's already going to get pretty intense. Apologies if I do wind up going a bit quiet because I'll probably be just sort of going, oh crap, what's coming up? How do I react to this? Stuff like that. And we're actually racing on some of the external areas this time around. And through here into more anti-grav tunnels. Of course, if we crash into those rocks at high speed, it really doesn't help. Nonetheless, he's quick off the mark. Abyss might be a pain in the backside, but Bozzy's actually pretty decent. Sneak through? Yes, we can. So things will be getting a little bit tougher from here, but we'll persevere. I suppose that's some sort of force field generator. Pick one of these tunnels and away we go. That appears to be a Sarlacc back there, not exactly sure why it's there. But we're absolutely cruising now. Of course, there's still room for me to screw this up. I thought I was going to lose an engine there. But let's be honest, with Duel of the Fates playing and some high-speed pod racing, this is definitely getting better. There we are, that's a little bit smarter. Back through the tunnel, so if you're quick you can shift off to the side there, I believe. Whoa! Got a little bit airborne there. It's just a little airborne, it's still good, it's still good. Once you get the better parts, you can really hit some high speeds in this, and it's a hell of a lot of fun. Somehow, physics doesn't go too wonky. And I was trying to repair things, but I just blew up. Apparently, it comes with a self-destruct button. Who knew? Of course, if you do land upside down, it's probably not going to end very well for you. I should have anticipated. Okay, that turned on me. That shouldn't have worked as well as it did. Whoop. Little dented, but all good. I have to say, the addition of the music really does help a bit. Makes it feel a lot more tense. Avoid that Sarlacc and just... Thankfully, we sort of go on autopilot a bit through the tunnels. Hit the boosters a little and around.
It's a new lap record.
Not too shabby. One more lap. We're getting into the real high stakes stuff. It'll be interesting going back and seeing what we have, what we can do in the way of setting lap records on the previous tracks. Whoa, engine's not looking good. Fix that up. Can we slip back the sides? Yes, we can. It's a little easier to travel through this route. Yeah, I'm going to give him credit. The track might be a pain in the ass, but Bozzy's actually pretty good to race as. That's probably a bit of a shortcut. That's nice. Alright, so we'll ease off the brake on the brakes here. And away we go. Avoid the... Well, I didn't blow up that time. That was a bit of a heavy... Notice how as soon as I said, well, I didn't blow up that time. Sometimes I think it knows. Right through the middle and away we go. Been pretty smooth sailing for the most part. Alright, through this one. There's only one tunnel we haven't been through. Pod's a bit fragile, but... Oh well, one more explosion for luck. And just missed out on the new lap record, but... Pretty smooth running, and Toy Dampener is ours. Particularly interesting looking pod racer. Plenty of armor, at least it looks that way anyway. I wonder if there is a durability stat. So, Sebulba's Legacy is our next one, and of course we're not going to get to use Sebulba just yet. We have to beat the Boonta Classic for that one. So, let's change our vehicle. As I remember, he's near... There we are, fairly decent racer. Looks pretty nifty.
Back again, huh?
Well,
they come here. How do they find me?
Brakes aren't looking too hot.
Here, they mess up my stall. Hey! Have you seen my chance cube?
Is the rotary the best one?
You break or you buy, huh?
No, obviously the cluster 2 is a bit better. Power plant cluster. No, wait. Huh.
You want that one, huh?
It's been a little while. I'm a little bit rusty on some of the parts, so excuse me if I go quiet. I think this one's... That's the best one for acceleration. I better save up a little bit more. Oh, we better get some handling. Control. Coupling. Control vector jet.
Outlanders, they come here. How do they find me?
That's definitely our best.
Mess up my stall. Hey! You break or you buy, huh?
Alright, well, let's have a look and... That's what we want. Vehicle upgrades. The brakes are doing terribly. We'll need to upgrade those. Coolant pump may need a little bit, but I think that's the best. I know Block 6 is the best. I don't know what the best of the turning items is. I remember the R600 repulsor grip is generally the best. Quad 32 PCE, we do need a better accelerator. Rotary power plug I think is the best for repair. Let's get rolling. Alright. Started off with a tight turn. I want my standard map. Great, I went off again. Handle's okay. Slip up here. Maybe it's a little bit of a shortcut. Whoop. Or sort of a cross track. Got to take a little bit of time to remember everything. And wait, did somebody else blow up? Probably best to go through that little tunnel. So there's our man Sebulba. It's a bit dim on this. We should be able to make it around pretty easy. Assuming there is, I believe, track down there. He's pretty good on the repairs. Yeah, get that fixed pretty quickly and away we go. It's a fairly tricky and twisty one, as you might expect. Just as tricky and twisted as Sebulba himself, I'd say. Anyway, let's sneak on through here. This flows a bit smoother. Still a wild ride, get some air. That one bit at the front of the left engine that's always messing me up. If you're smart about how you use the boost, you'll go pretty well. Move around. And hit it.
It's a new lap record.
Well, not much more to go. This one's a fairly quick and intense race. Mostly the twisting and turning track. But it's good having something like that that is sort of fast, furious, and really intense. The long races will give you a bit more time to catch up. But ones like this can really test your skills and make you sort of improvise on the spot. This one is, however, the last Malistar race. And it's interesting enough that at no point do we actually wind up seeing a Gran as track favourite on the Malistar track, even though they're the ones that effectively took over the planet. Punch it! And there we go. Very nice. Quite a generous victory in all fairness. Grabvine Gateway is our next one, so we've basically got free pick because it's one of our starter races. And it is a nightmare of spaghetti, basically. So, while he does turn up later, I'm actually going to use EB Endicott for this one. Because I'm saving using Anakin for the last race. Oh dear. Looks like our blocks wound up taking a bit of a hit.
Back again, huh?
Yeah, we really knocked that around. Oof.
No, this part no good for you, huh?
Well, our air brake's
They come
getting
here,
fixed
they
at
look
least.
around, they no buy. Why nobody buys?
Let's look in the junkyard. Oh, that damaged block 6.
They come here. How do they find me? They come here. They mess up my store.
Tell you
Change
what.
your mind. Outlanders. They come here. How do they find me?
Looks like we're just going to have to go with things as they are. How's our vehicle looking? Well, we got the brake, and the brakes are getting fixed. Handling's looking a bit iffy.
Only the best parts you find here in my shop.
Control stabilizer. I think that's the best one for handling.
You banna pihota, Mindia, huh?
So we are going to need all the handling we can get. This one's a pain. Thankfully, this should be pretty agile. We'll have to pick the best spots to boost, but as you saw, it is a twisting and turning nightmare. Thankfully, a small and agile racer should get us through. Start out in the main arena on Boonta, avoid the trade... Well, we don't actually get interrupted by the Trade Federation landing craft. As long as we're pretty smart about where and when we boost, and for how long, we should be alright. Earthquakes can open up shortcuts around here. Don't forget to use the brakes. You will need them. We'll race through this sort of hilly area for a little bit, and then we'll move on into the jungle. And I'll mysteriously explode. Alright, on into the jungles. You'll be seeing this jungle part of Boonta quite often. Fire Mountain Run also goes through the jungle. And there is another track later on. The very last track in the game is actually a Boonta track. Keep an eye on your map. This gets fiddly. Don't be afraid to use the brakes. The AI is usually alright. Yeah, as you can see, this is it's a mess. It's a twisty, spiraling nightmare. But if we can get out of it, this is part of Baru Coast, I believe. Fix that up. So once you get out of the jungle, we can just boost away. This is a little bit easier to handle. Once you can safely navigate that jungle area, you are good to go, but otherwise, be very careful. Best advice I can give you. Caution, discretion, and good handling and brakes will be necessary to make it through Grapevine Gateway. Another big question is, how in blazes is Anakin the track favourite? For this one, he's never actually been off Tatooine. At the time the game is set, anyway. Alright, coming up to the twisting, turning hills again. Let's see how we handle it all. So there's a shortcut back there that if we hit the anchors at the right time, we can take. Just ease it round. Yeah, get ourselves fixed up. We made it through pretty safely. Stick to the center of the track, otherwise you will lose speed. Probably best not to hit the boosters through the jungle area. Only in short bursts. Definitely going quiet because I'm concentrating. Repairs can be very helpful as a sort of substitute brake. Use those to your advantage.
You're snaking up the course with that peg.
Great, went the wrong way. That's another issue you have to put up with. Not being able to work out where you're going, and my engines are in it. Yes. My feelings exactly. Especially with the fact that our top speed's down. Alright, we're past Odie Mandrell. Let's see if we can catch him. Still only in third, which is frustrating. It was a really bad lap. Got to be closing in on second place. Surely got to be closing in on second place. There we go, I'm getting a bit reckless. It's Team Topagalis, who boasts of having the longest engines on the circuit. Let's see, that shortcut opened up just near here, didn't it? It's not much of a shortcut. Actually, it's a bit more than I thought. We are in first. Basically, one screw up in this jungle area and we're done for. Can't get a good place to boost. Anakin's right on my tail. There we go. Whoa! That went badly. That nearly went badly. So you can see why I dislike this one. It's a fair track, but it's easy to get confused. Mostly trying to pay attention to what's around me. Oh, that didn't help. Watch the mini-map if I need to. Brakes are my friends. Alright, engines aren't great. Damn it, that was the worst time that could have happened. We should be home free. You can tell the rust's setting in a little bit, having to take a few risks here and there. And that low top speed is not helping us, so it's probably made it easier for us to stop. Definitely go quiet when I'm concentrating. I've always noticed that, or if I'm getting frustrated. We've made it, and we somehow got a much better lap on that last one. Oh boy. That's a fair contender for the worst track in the game. I still think Abyss sucks more because you can't catch up if you screw up. And Dobie Mountain Run is a lot more relaxed. So there is one of our grands, Mohonic. So, how's our vehicle looking? Our top speed is looking a bit better. Brakes, needless to say, brakes and coolant definitely took a bit of a hit. Let's see what you got, Watto.
No,
Still
this
fairly...
part no good for you, huh?
Wait, quad 44. We got the best there. Let's finally get some better brakes. 5. That's going to leave us with practically nothing. Those brakes are knackered.
You're gonna lose unless you upgrade your pod racer, I think.
Turbo coolant pump's the best. Rotary, I think, is the best for our repairs.
shit. Get it away.
Always
here,
just
Miss
off.
One and
Always
All
just
Pata.
off. So, well, let's go. So, as I mentioned, I'm not using Anakin just yet. We've used Tinto, Rats Tyrell, Old Beto, Bumpy Ruse failed me, Wan Sandage, Marsgro. We haven't used Gasgano. I'm going to be using him a bit later on. So, just for comedy value on this one, I think I'm going to use... Actually, Bumpy Ruse needs to actually win a race. Where are you? Alright, Bumpy, let's see how this goes. We are in for, dare I say it, a bumpy ride. Given how badly everything went for us on Abyss with Bumpy, I don't exactly have the highest expectations. Surprisingly enough, using Never Key, I didn't actually wind up clipping outside anything. Bumpy was just a bit too big. Well, he didn't let me down. He lets me down, but in... I'm not sure. How do I phrase that? So it starts off mostly like Howler Gorge. Alright, well, we're hitting the anchors on this turn, so he'll probably wind up ripping his own engine. Alright, can we make it over the gap? I believe we can actually fly pretty well. We'll wind up going into what looks like a pumping station. Nearly ripped my engines off. Let's just keep cruising this way. And bless you. It always sounds like he sneezes when he does that. And out onto the ice fields. Wait, where's the track? Whoa! That nearly went badly, and that would have been entirely my fault. It has been a long time since I've raced on this, and you can tell, on the more complex tracks, I'm going to be getting a bit rusty. I'll try and keep it cool. Oh, no ice punt. Even Bumpy didn't want to hear that ice punt. And we're back in familiar territory. I'm not going into those little tents because I always manage to crash. And given Bumpy's huge and clunky engines, it would be a recipe for disaster. Let's make our way through smoothly and securely. Good spot to boost if we go this way. Seems to be pretty durable though. Looks like we've mostly got the track to ourselves again. That doesn't mean I can do anything stupid. And somehow I did manage to do something stupid. I keep jinxing myself. Let's fly. That probably shouldn't have worked. We will wind up slipping around a bit. Exercise due caution, and we'll be fine. You would think I saw that coming, but you'd be wrong. Back into the ice canyons. Wait, have I just really gone off track? Literally? little shortcut or something. I don't know. Well, it managed to be the front right engine that's damaged. Good heavens, he makes some of the strangest noises.
It's a new lap record.
And onto the last lap, it's running fairly smoothly. I admit I haven't quite had as much to add about these races. Many areas are going to be familiar, so you can get a bit of a handle on everything. But aside from doing anything stupid, we have generally been pretty fine. We've had a few tense moments, mostly because Grapevine Gateway really does suck. But generally we've been able to have some pretty smooth sailing, and perhaps it's a bit of an issue in that if you're good and you get all the right parts, sometimes it is a little bit too easy. But I'm not sure how many other racing games actually do show off things like having your parts wear out. Wear and tear on the racing parts is a pretty nice addition. It's not used enough, I think. There might be other more realistic racing games that actually utilise it, but I don't play a lot of racing games because it's not quite my genre. I mean, things are flowing incredibly smoothly here. With enough memory and a little bit of panic, I've been able to keep a pretty good position. So we have a whole range of routes we can take through these ice canyons, it seems. I will stick to the marked track as best I can. And we'll cruise on in and unlock Mohonic. Sometimes turning isn't quite enough. We do need to hit the brakes. Nearing the end. Thank you. Let's boost. And can I... Damn it, I was trying to rip his engine off. So I've finished one of the races going through in a spectacular explosion. And there we are. We have unlocked Mohonic. Not too bad.
You come back, huh?
All right, we can get that block 6 at last.
Something else?
So we've got the best top speed item in the game. Where is Mohonic? Further back this way. Ironically, just one tick to the left. Oh dear, I don't think his acceleration is particularly good. So we have a very big racer. And he handles like a shopping trolley. Alright. Well, it's probably no wonder. Our handling it...
Change your mind.
Handling in the injector is shot to bits, but we've got the best... The pit droids will help maintain those in due course. Let's get rolling. This is the last Order banner track, and it's much more fun than Abyss. I really do miss the music they had in the original version. Thankfully, nothing punishes you for falling down the bottom. Whoa, we got a bit of air there. Already taking a bit of damage, but that's okay. Now if we... As I was going to say, if we're good, we can slip through that gap. Obviously, I am not good. Try not to crash too much. Let's hunt down Odie Mandrell. Yeah, I kind of miss that the original music for this. It was a lot more fun. Still only in second. How far ahead is he? Well, it looked like Mahonic wasn't going to make it then. This has gone badly. Where the hell is Odie Mandrell? Hey, I'm in second place. Why the hell have I managed to lose him? Oh, that's right. Yeah, I'm playing badly. I remember there are little shortcuts you can take, but I forgot most. I can also do this and ramp it up and die. I think I'm going to have to restart that one, because Odie Mandrell just disappeared and then I screwed up. Good heavens. Quit grinding on me, buddy. The AI can boost. It suddenly goes from being fun to really, really tense. Ah, that's what we're looking for. That's a little shortcut. That helps you out quite a lot. I'm not going on top of that track. I don't think I have enough handling to avoid falling off. Alright, well we're patched up pretty well for now. The variety in stats for all the races is actually pretty good. Gives you a whole range of different styles to play. Let's keep on. Ah, there we are. It's just those little bits can help out, but boy, this thing feels like it's a bit of a clunker. I know a few important parts are running below standard, but I don't know, Mahonic just seems like he's really clunky. And I know I'm playing badly. I know I'm playing badly, but oh boy. The acceleration's a bit poor. Have to get that fixed up, definitely. Whoa, that's some good air. At least points for the aerodynamics. That was actually pretty good. I have a tendency to kind of overcorrect a bit, I notice. Alright, well we should hold on pretty well for now. There's still showing up in our rear vision mirror as such. So it's a little bit tense, unfortunately. We are starting to get some competition at long last. Nothing stupid though. Still should be able to make it. made it. Nearly made it to the finish line. Good challenge. Fire Mountain Rally. Second last race. So we've already used Odie Mandrell. And oh boy, this is another sort of twisty-turny spaghetti mess of a track. We do go back through the forest area, the jungle area more accurately. Alright, let's see.
Only the best ones you find here in my shop, huh?
Quad 44.
Something
That's
else?
at least it. Gee, we've really put things through the ringer. You think no matter what, your top speed, your engine is your injector's always going to be put under a bit of pressure.
They come in.
Going to be choosing my main man, Never Key. Repair system's not running too hot. Box 6 is a bit creaky. Yeah, we really put ourselves through the ringer on that one, but we'll have a few things fixed up in no time. Let's proceed to our race. Going right through a volcano because convection doesn't matter. And there we go, straight off. Cruising around familiar territory through Burundi's capital. We will, of course, get to different areas. We'll be heading back to the jungle, as I mentioned. And then we will navigate our way through the volcano, which is the focus. Hold back. Also, yes, hold back on the control stick to cross jumps. I kind of forgot that was there. So we're going through a completely different track, entirely different jungle section, as you see. Brakes are going to be important on this one. Otherwise, we'll be going head first into walls, and that tends to make us explode. And exploding's not very good. Unless, of course, you can explode in the sense of the Pokemon games, which seems to be a massive release of energy. Oh no, wait, this actually comes out into the jungle area. Don't drive on the lava if you can help it. You won't immediately catch fire, but your engines will take damage. They will eventually catch fire, of course. Oh boy. Decision making at in the heat of the moment, you can see why pod racing is such a dangerous sport. It's exciting, but oh boy, is it ever dangerous. Alright, we're going back through this bit. That engine's belching smoke. As I'm sure you can all see, part of my commentary, obviously, well, it is stating the obvious, it would seem, and make it round, we're doing alright now, we're going okay. Was seriously waiting to blow up there. Alrighty, we'll make our way back to the starting line. Couldn't handle in time. But we still have a fairly solid lead. Coming back up on the first lap, it's not going to be particularly impressive. You've got to remember all the best spots to boost and everything. But so far so good. It's a bit of a learning experience, and I hope you're enjoying seeing all these tracks as well. It's definitely a fun experience, this game. Oops, don't overcorrect. Don't rip your engine off either. Alright, now remember, hold back. And we're pretty good to go for our volcanic area. Through the jungles again. And explode anyway. You really have to ease off the speed when you're going through this stretch. It's... Baru Coast's alright, but some of these bits are just aggravating when it comes to manoeuvring around them. Can cruise over there, doesn't really do anything for us, and back into the volcano. I am tempted to demonstrate what happens if you do drive on the lava, but I think that pretty much speaks for itself. Well, there's a good demonstration of what happens when you drive into a wall. Oh, crumbs. Engines are getting hot. So yes, your engines will overheat like you were boosting. And of course, bits will catch fire. So there may not be many great places to boost if you're a little rusty on this one. We might be able to get a good shortcut out of it. So I think that little earthquake that opens things up in lap 2 of Grabvine Gateway also opens things up here. We've got people. And of course it puts us back where everyone else was. What was it even the point of hitting the brakes if I just... Somebody else blow up? Oh. Alright, well we have got a decent bit of a challenge anyway. I just have to hope, basically, put everything I've got into it. Oh, come on! That was a little touchy. It's not too far ahead, we can catch him. Absolutely terrible lap. Going through that blasted jungle section is going to be the worst bit. Got to find one path for the volcano section and stick to it. No improv. So if we have a consistent strategy, we're more likely to win. Hold back! Brake early. It'll take a few knocks to the engine. That's better than just blowing up. Of course, I just had to say it, didn't I? I just had to say it. Boy, oh boy. You'd think I'd know better than to tempt fate. You'd be wrong. I don't think I've learned from any of my games, really. Take a quick boost where we can, really. Oh, that's really touchy. Some of these races are not necessarily the most durable and they will explode at the slightest provocation, it seems. Okay, so this seems to be my safest path, looping down here. I wasn't even boosting, and somehow when I blew up, I was boosting. Physics is obviously going to be a little bit questionable when you start getting into this sort of speed and technically anti-gravity stuff. There we go. We have managed to not blow up, so let's get boosting. After a bit of a fiasco and a lot of tension, we're making it through. I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine. And there we go. We will make it back into the stadium with a new lap record. And an admittedly slightly frustrating track. I know you can use the slide function, the slide controls and things like that, but I'm not sure if they always work. The Boonta Classic, the one we've been waiting for. Okay, traction's down, but we don't really need that. Axle's still a bit of a problem. I think we've got, let's see, we've got the arson. We don't have the best accelerator. We don't have the best brakes.
Change your mind. You're gonna lose.
Alright, so we do need the quadrajet air brake at some point. But we'll have to rack up a bit of money for that one.
What do you want?
Junkyard. Mag 6, Block 5, rotary. It's only a Mark 3. So, as promised, for the big race, we will be racing as Anakin Skywalker. Let's hope this goes particularly well. We'll still have 2 races to go, of course. So we might as well watch this cutscene one last time, just so we can get to see the really, really awkward, cheap CGI Jabba.
Podrace fans. Our glorious host, Jabba the Hutt, has moved into the arena.
Yabo de Jabba the Hutt.
So there we are, we have ridiculously wide-mouthed Jabba. And we're ready to go. Didn't get the boost start. But we've got a pretty nimble pod racer. We will see little bits of the Boonta training course, but this is the real deal. This one's tough. So forgive me if I do start panicking all of a sudden. I'm trying to remember exactly where I'm going. So we've got a few things we can do. There are bits we might recognise from the movies. And of course, as I crash into Sebulba, I blow up. That's a little frustrating. Because of course the AI usually doesn't wind up blowing up very easily. With all these different twists and turns we can take, we'll have a bit of a time catching up. Over the side pit. Where is he? There he is. I don't think it matters if the AI blows up. Boy, did I screw that up. Yeah, a bit rusty. But once we get to the section at the end, we'll be able to hit the boosters and go right ahead. Probably could do with a bit more top speed. Well, there's the cave where Rats Tyrell got himself killed. This was where Team Topagalis got shot by Tuskens, but survived. So you will see those plumes of flame, which can actually set your racer on fire. Thank you very much, game, for the prompt demonstration.
It's working! It's working!
And now I've got to find Sebulba, and we have a random Jawa sandcrawler. Where is he? There he is. This is a much longer circuit. Might be able to catch up to him if I can actually get... If I can get a boost in.
It's a new lap record.
Well, it shouldn't be. Sebulba is still
Come on, work!
well ahead of us. Where does this take me? Oh, shit. Takes me to a bad place, that's what. Definitely going on the top path. Sebulba's a bit ahead comparatively speaking. That bit's obviously rather slow and now he randomly blow up again. So much for authenticity! Once again, just really got to hit the boosters. Sebulba's probably miles ahead. Ooh, handle, come on. Don't let me down now. I'll try not to let you down. That's a bit smoother, come on. Airland Mac is still right on my arse. Alright, well let's try not to get ourselves set on fire this time. Can we get up here? Yes, we can. Avoid that. Don't believe it. We have not been able to shake Alan Mac. This is definitely bringing in the big guns. Smoke trailing from one engine. Let's see if we can... get that boost. We might be able to shake him off.
It's a new lap record.
But we have still made no ground on Sebulba. No idea where he is or what he's doing. He probably knows all the optimal routes. And geez, those guys are rubber banding now. Sebulba's just gone. Sebulba just went all Mario Kart 64 on me. I couldn't catch up. There we go. So we're obviously, when we get to that fork in that top path, we are obviously going to have to head to the left. Sorry about that one. Jeez, it seemed like no matter what I did, I could not catch up. And of course, it'll send me on the wrong path. Alright, we've got to try and keep sight of him, because if we lose sight of Sebulba, it seems like he'll just jump about a quarter of the track ahead, which was a problem the AI in Mario Kart 64 had. If you let them get just a little bit ahead, they would just basically jump like a quarter of the track ahead, and you would not be able to catch up with them. Okay, so going through the center looks like the way to go. Okay, we've held on to the lead. now, let's do it. I mean, it's a good challenge, but unfortunately, since I am trying to win every race and get the winner takes all, I've got to make sure I win this one.
It's working!
It really did seem like the AI was starting to rubber band. They obviously take the kid gloves off for the Boonta Classic and make sure you know it's tough. Of course, you can't really force the AI to crash. I know Sebulba's right on my tail. I have to find the best spots to boost. Slip around those. And avoid the Tuscan's gunfire. Interestingly enough, I believe they actually are, as I've mentioned, using slug throwers rather than actual blasters.
It's working! It's working!
Man, we've taken
It's
some
working.
real knocks, but we're still in it. It'll be tough, but we can do it. I mean, I'd probably use somebody who's a bit better if I wanted to wind up having a strong shot, but I'm going for movie accuracy. Alright, let's just boost.
Come on, work!
It's a new lap record.
We're not quite running at full power. The engines are belching smoke. But looks like the path to take. It's the shorter of the two, I believe. Oh well, maybe we've got an inbuilt smoke screen. There will probably get to be a point where our engine's just too damaged to continue. But for now... Alright, well, we blew up. Closing in on us, it's absolutely unsurprising that Sebulba would rubber band a little bit. But given that we've had so many races where we've just been miles ahead, it's probably unsurprising. Makes it a little bit more authentic. Interestingly enough, that Sarlacc pit doesn't have the beak in it. Alright, still tense, still holding a decent lead. Just have to avoid crashing. Probably crashing when I did wasn't too bad because it meant I came back with fresh engines. Repair's good. Got the accelerator absolutely buried. Boosters as we come out of the cave. And away we go. Whoa, that's difficult, that. I think we actually got shot by one. Alright, can we avoid the random sand crawler which was put in here just for the sake of it? Yes, we can. Don't try and go through the middle of it. It's never worth it. And we're nearly onto the plane at the end. Thank you, that's what I want.
It's a new lap record.
Come on, work!
Get that fixed up, and we should be good to go. So we've found the optimal routes. We are holding up okay, all things considered. Why do I jinx myself? Really, you'd think I'd know better. You'd think I'd know better by now. And it's come out of nowhere. Blow up once and he really snaps in. Right, you jackass. And Sebulba is pretty fast as far as I remember. Boost. Boost again. Alright, it's quiet time. I've got to concentrate. I really have to concentrate. That nearly went badly. Avoid the fire. If we stay up here, we can avoid the fire. That's going to be important for us. Alright, Sandcrawler, out of the way. Can't afford to blow up. Can't afford to have anything go wrong. We probably can't even afford to stop to fix our engines. Because we are near the finish line and we have to win this one. Right. Boost all the way. Whew. And finally, your reward for that is Sebulba, who can't actually set anyone on fire with his flamethrower when human controlled. Because why would you be able to actually use that perk?
The fastest pod racer in the galaxy. Anakin Skywalker.
Sebulba just has to sit there and take it. He's probably not very happy. And there's Rats Tyrell, who did not die. So, there we are, but there's still a little bit more to go. And our credits sequence. So, it's brought back a bit of tension because I'm a little bit rusty, let's be honest. But a bit of tension is probably a little bit more entertaining along the way. Nonetheless, I still think this is an incredibly fun game that's easy to pick up and play, but will give you a good test if you need it. It's pretty interesting in terms of racing mechanics because of the wear and tear that affects your parts, as I've mentioned. Can make things a little bit awkward along the way, but it will wind up panning out pretty well. We've got some really good tracks, a great variety of races, and it is just a lot of fun to play. It's pretty easy to play in multiplayer, in all fairness. It still holds up as a very enjoyable Star Wars game. I do like the irony of the fact that Abyss is our credits theme track. The one I had so much trouble on, and we wind up going along the horrible bottom section just because we can. This is such a poorly designed track. But I suppose enough about that. We have so many great tracks, and it's almost like expanding on the lore a little bit for all the other races. It's basically giving them an opportunity to shine, because that has been one of the interesting things about Star Wars, building up all the different characters, all the background characters, and giving them an opportunity to shine along the way. Because of course we do wind up getting that. I mean, as I mentioned, Tales from the Mos Eisley Cantina gave backstories to pretty much every minor character, the ones you just saw for a little bit on screen, they all had stories. And that was really, really good. Seeing these guys get a chance to shine, you might have picked out a favourite racer from somewhere among the crowd, and now you have a chance to make them the best pod racer in the galaxy across a selection of fantastic tracks and a few crummy ones like Abyss. Overall, it's felt really, really entertaining still. Most of the time if I'm getting frustrated, it's because I'm in the middle of a really tense race. But overall, still incredibly enjoyable. It's easy to pick up and play. It's a pretty simple game, all things considered. It requires a little bit of skill, but there are plenty of tracks that do allow you to just have fun with things. And so in all fairness, I really, really appreciate this game for being such a nicely balanced racing game. That much is always going to play in its favour because I love F-Zero, but I know that it's very skill-based and you do need some pretty good abilities to actually wind up handling that one. And Mario Kart I've got it in for because I believe that while it is very easy to pick up and play and its multiplayer makes things very friendly for people, it has the major problem that if you want to play it in single player, it can be a nightmare because the game will pretty much gang up on you and make your life miserable. This, I think, strikes a nice balance as far as racing games go. You'll get better as you go, you'll build up your skills and be able to pull off some pretty good moves. But you can also still just pick it up and play and have a bit of fun with it because it's not particularly punishing. It does expect you to build your skills along the way and it will reward you for that. But it's going to help you get to the point you need to be first. And I really, really appreciate that in a racing game. I think it's very well done and it has been very enjoyable actually bringing this to you. It's been an interesting little side project. I think I've handled this one a bit better than my Mario Kart Super Circuit experience. Because Super Circuit is a nice game. It can be a little bit janky at times when it comes to the handling, and for some reason we've lost a lot of the background on Malistar, so it's sort of... I think the fog engine has gone in a sense. Or maybe we're just winding up getting a bit of daytime. So we will also get to see the voice cast as well. We've got a few people who perform a range of voices. It's interesting that they have a Roger L. Jackson. Alright. Pretty good array. I'm afraid I'm not familiar with a lot of these voice actors, but nonetheless, they've all done a very good job contributing to this, even if we can't really understand what they're saying because I believe it's meant to be in Huttese. And of course, you can't go wrong with John Williams. I think it's pretty much been the one element of Star Wars that has remained consistently impressive. John Williams' music. Also, the sound effects guy Ben Burt has had a few cameos in the series. He's the Imperial officer that Han knocks off the balcony in Return of the Jedi when they're attempting to break into the shield generator bunker. And of course, he's accompanied by the Wilhelm scream, which I think apart from The Rise of Skywalker appeared once in every Star Wars movie as a bit of a running joke. So yeah, the testers have definitely done their best. I mean, there are going to be strange moments where you don't think you should have blown up, but then again, I'm not exactly willing to test the physics of this sort of stuff. And it is overall a really enjoyable game. And we'll get to cruise through Grapevine Gateway again. That one was annoying. But we got there, and we got there in the end, even if I did get a bit literally turned around. Can be kind of a bothersome one, but also note that I don't think you can actually crash through that stone, because otherwise you'll wind up going into part of the track for Fire Mountain Rally. Now we're on one of the UVO 4 tracks. Let's see, see, which one is this meant to be? Because the third one is coming up as our next invitational. Ah, this is Vengeance. Oh no, it's the other one. It's the one we haven't seen. Well, that's kind of interesting. It's just decided to pop up because it can. So we will get to see this. You can shoot off to the side there for a bit of a shortcut. And then we're back on some of the area from Executioner, but it's changed around again. We'll take some different routes. Well, hopefully this actually helps me out a bit. Good opportunity to learn the track because it's quite a complex one as I remember, but I can't remember what it's called. And that's kind of bugging me. Alright, hopefully the credit sequence does actually finish up pretty soon. So yeah, I suppose it would be nice seeing a few more Star Wars games come to the Switch as well. I think we've got a pretty decent selection already. But I'd very much love to see Shadows of the Empire turn up. That's, along with the X-Wing novels, that's my favourite piece of Star Wars. I do love the movies, but I pretty much grew up with Shadows of the Empire thanks to the Nintendo 64 game. My brother and I absolutely love the whole multimedia project of Shadows of the Empire. Beautiful soundtrack as well, that's well worth listening to. Joel McNeely's score for the project is brilliant. There are a few comic books that came with it, we had the game, we had the novel. At the time, George Lucas considered it pretty much as good as the movies, yet he very much approved of everything it had done. So it's well worth checking out the whole saga. And of course I love the X-Wing novels because that's where Jantilli's chance to shine. Now if I'm going to be honest, the star backgrounds really shouldn't be where the planets are. There's our shortcut I was mentioning. And we're off at Mont Gaza. Still got a bit more to go. Yeah, I love the X-Wing series because it's basically a chance for Wedge to have a bit of time in the limelight, and he's not always the superstar. With Michael Stackpole's books, he does tend to take a bit of a backseat. I like that, never actively tried to sabotage the project. And we have a whole selection of random stuff. We will see the name Ken Lobb going up the screen. I believe he worked on GoldenEye as well. Princess Zelda's in there. Ken Lobb is the man after whom the Clob is named. Some of those fun credits just had a little bit of extra. There was a certain flair LucasArts had. Always entertaining. And here we are. We're ready to go on to the next tracks. So let's actually put Sebulba to work. The Gauntlet, that's it. And it's a bit of a chaotic one. So our Axel's a bit off. Oh boy, that block 6 that's dead. We're running on base top speed. That thing, that's knackered.
What do you want? Achubananaya!
That said, at least Sebulba is pretty fast. Well, let's give him a go. Gonna be an interesting one. All right. Away we go. Sebulba is naturally quite fast, so with our Block 6 being knackered and not providing anything to our top speed, this could be problematic. Where's my map? That's what I'm looking for. There we are. Now it's interesting. It's kind of interesting that we have such comically large engines for some of the races, because I believe it was mentioned in some of the supplementary material for episode 1 that the engines on Sebulba's pod were effectively illegally large, but people just whip. They must be micro-meteor strikes. Kind of ironic, I'm using the... I couldn't handle out of the way of that. Oh, what? I didn't realize we could be set on fire while we were invincible. Alright, well let's just concentrate and enjoy the track. The gauntlet is going to be a very tough one. Are we good enough to actually accept the challenge? The gauntlet has been thrown down as such. Navigate our way through the twisting caverns of the twisting canyons, I meant to say, on the surface of Uvo 4 and other parts of the circuit. Alright, avoid the rocks. Put boosters to work. Watch out for that tower over there. Should go pretty smoothly. We have to head down here. Well, I got some idea from watching the credits sequence, but it's still going to be fairly tough because, as I said, I'm rusty. It's been good flexing the muscles again and getting them back into action. We do still have one more invitational track after we complete this. Yes, as to what I was trying to say, it was I believe I did mention that the engines on Sebulba's pod were considered illegally large. I did try and dodge that in all fairness. Note that the AI doesn't crash. Hey, I know you, Wan Sandage. You tried to kill me. Yes, in the backstory, Wan Sandage did try to have Sebulba eliminated, but unfortunately for him, it didn't stick. Old Arbedo did try, but he actually wound up becoming Sebulba's bodyguard after Wan Sandage died. Just the natural lifestyle, life expectancy of the devil-like species. Whoop. Yeah, you kind of wonder, I think they scaled down the size of the engines for Sebulba's pod racing. Because nothing about this really looks illegally large. Get some air! There we go, that's how we take a shortcut. Get back on the main track. And we want to hit the boosters and start heading cross-country. So eventually we will wind up getting to this particular area. I really hope our pit droids get to work on that on our block 6 really soon. Alright, through here, and yeah, that makes things a lot easier. This is somehow a bit more relaxing. We are navigating pretty smoothly, all things considered. Sebulba is worth it. He's incredibly fast, as we've seen. You can already see how high the top speed is when we consider that the Block 6 is so damaged it's practically providing nothing. And he will continue to get very, very fast, very, very quickly when things build back up. Interestingly enough, it was stated that Anakin's is meant to be the fastest pod racer going around. I keep forgetting I need to pull up. Pull down on the controls. Well, I got stuck on a rock! That bit has screwed me up again, and they're catching up. Very quickly. Take this boosters. There we go.
It's a new lap record.
thought I had decent leads and things given how well I'd been boosting, but obviously they're just starting to snap back if you die a couple of times in quick succession. That, of course, is one of the hindrances to racing games. You can't quite make them too realistic in the sense that if you're going to... how do I phrase this? So, we know that sometimes people will win races by a large margin, but that doesn't always give people a lot of satisfaction. So the AI usually gets to rubber band in order to make things a bit more challenging for you. Unfortunately, this isn't particularly realistic, and it just winds up being annoying as far as I'm concerned, because, well, let's be honest, when Michael Schumacher was winning pretty much everything, you didn't see Rubens Barrichello popping up in his rear vision mirror after he'd been in front for 5 seconds, did you? Now, it would be pretty interesting, but unfortunately he didn't get to do that. Though Rubens Barrichello did get his own back by actually being the one to beat the Stig for the first time on Top Gear. So he's got that in his favour. Michael Schumacher, on the other hand, got lost. Alright, should be pretty smooth. Still holding a pretty good lead. Comparatively speaking. Comparatively speaking, we do have a pretty good lead, but I can't afford to screw up in these last tunnels. Nearing the end. Caution has got to be the watchword. Of course I managed to... They're right on me, but I didn't die that second time. This lack of top speed is really killing me. Stay tight, stay tight. Got it. Whew, they were really tight now, Tail. The damaged parts did not help. And now we're going to use Gasgano for the final track, Inferno, where we will unlock, at long last, Ben Quaternaros. Oh, thank heavens they've repaired it! Handling's going to be a bit shocking.
You'll not find a better deal anywhere, I think, huh?
So yeah, so Bulba would basically have almost top speed with a plug 3. At long last, we've got the best air brake. It took me a while. Alrighty, Gasgano is good to go for our last race. Through the volcanic reaches of Inferno, and this one might be tough. Let's get the map back up and running. And we'll make our way through this rather difficult track. We're going to need everything we've got, possibly more than I have, to make it through and unlock Ben Quaternaros. Once again, we have a number of winding paths. I suppose this is very appropriate, I suppose, in light of episode 3, that we have Duel of the Fates playing in a volcanic area. And it is suitably atmospheric. Not a lot of great places to boost. Oh, great. Okay. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're mostly good. We're flying now. Something blew up there.
It's a new black record.
So yes, this one is much shorter, but it's a bit more intense. We have twisting, turning tracks, plenty of lava, and a lot of chaos if things don't quite go to plan. Now, interesting to note, pretty much everyone will have top speed, at least full top speed, with a maxed out block 6. But some people will be faster than others. So pick your favourite, pick the one you think is best, and away we go. So the handling's probably going to be a little bit shocking because, well, we did a lot of damage to that stabilizer. Better get that left engine repaired. And there we go. Sorry about that, Gasgano. Interestingly enough, Gasgano came second in the Boonta Classic according to the movie. Anakin won, obviously. But Gasgano actually made second place. Credit to him. Gasgano's natural dexterity is a particularly big advantage for him. Generally, a lot of alien species with different reflexes and various multitasking skills will be pod racers. Humans generally don't have the reflexes or abilities to keep up with everything. Basically, the reason Anakin can is because he's force sensitive. You need to have very, very quick reflexes. And I've randomly blown up. Looks like we've got people on our tail. We can see them. Still, we're ahead. I'm sticking to what I know. I know this section, so we can cruise through it all right. All right. Ooh. Crap. Well, looks like we're going to be bringing it home. And there we are, 118 exactly. Not too shabby. And there we are, the final racer in the game. Ben Quaterneros and his 4 engines, which are clipping through the ground. So there we are, every single track is complete. So I enjoy Scrapper's run a lot. So we can activate mirror mode now. We don't get any prizes for it, but it's just something fun we can do. So I'm going to have one last challenge, see how our parts are going. Okay, they will still wind up being a bit worn down. Think he's all the way at the end. Oh no, here he is. So let's have one last race with Ben Quaterneros, whose face appears painted on. There's no definition on that nose at all. So, one last run. We'll just have a bit of a blast and end the project in style. And he actually makes it past the starting line, and away we go. Just a gentle cruise as we take in all the fun we've had with the game. Fun, frustration, and a range of interesting moments. I'm probably not even worrying if I do something stupid along the way. It's just a good cruise at high speed, and I've clipped through. Oh well, these things do happen. But Anyway, it has been an incredibly fun adventure. Yes, there's a bit of frustration along the way, but that does happen. I've enjoyed bringing this to you. I've enjoyed playing this game that I very much enjoyed and showing off what it's all about. Showing off sort of my early days of Star Wars. I started out, at least with the movies anyway, seeing the cinematic re-release of Episode 4, and we've lost another one. Yeah, the cinematic release of Episode 4 back in 1997. My brother and I were hooked ever since, basically. We've clipped through again, I think in the same spot. Oh well, at least I'm consistently screwing up. We've been hooked ever since, and yeah, the series has had its ups and downs, it's had a few stumbles.
It's a new lap record.
I would probably admit that while I did enjoy them all for different reasons, the sequel trilogy could be a bit better. I'm not going to hang it on any of the actors or anything like that, because they've at least done a very good job in bringing Star Wars to the screen in their own way. And well, at least like I said, at least I'm consistent. And I'm grateful for their efforts, in all fairness. I wish them all well in their careers with whatever they want to do. But I really do look forward to the direction of shows like The Mandalorian. I saw that recently, I absolutely loved it, and I'm looking forward to the second season. Okay, can I was trying to rip the engines off. And I would have probably would have got a lap record if I hadn't decided to be an idiot. Oh well. Well, that's pretty much it. That's the majority of what Episode 1 Racer has to offer. We can take on the mirror mode if we want to, and I'd have to practice a lot for that. Would not be looking forward to Grabvine Gateway in mirror mode, I'll tell you that much now, but we've unlocked all the races. We've seen them in action at least once. We've had some pretty cruisy performances. We've had some absolutely terrible ones. But above all, it's just another example of the great fun you can have in a galaxy far, far away. It's been an absolute joy getting this done, showing off everything we can do. I'm really glad you've stuck around for this particular side project. It has been a hoot, really. In the long run, it's just been incredibly enjoyable. It's a nice game. It's a bit blocky, as you can probably tell, but it still plays really well. It still holds up as a simple yet incredibly fun and sometimes quite complex racing game. Anyway, I think it's about time to wind things up. Thank you very much for joining me on this little side project. Until next time, this is Red 2, returning to base. May the Force be with you.